Well, a very happy Friday to all of you quizzers out there, and welcome along to British Speedway Quiz Night number 7. As ever, we hope you're continuing to keep safe and well, and many thanks for joining us once again this evening. I'm sure we've got plenty of regular competitors playing along live, and we may also have some newcomers as well. So we are going to spend these first few moments explaining the rules and how these British Speedway Quiz Nights work. So if you are a regular player, then please do bear with me. Like I say, we might have some newcomers playing along for the first time. Just before I do that though, allow me to point you in the direction of the official British Speedway website. That is speedwaygb.co.uk. That's the place to head on a regular basis for all the latest news, views and updates. And also, a lot of clubs are going to a big effort right now to bring old meetings your way to give you your Speedway fix. And when they notify us, we update the relevant page on the speedwaygb.co.uk website so that you can see where you can get that racing fix, where and when. Social media channels as well. We're going to a big effort ourselves to provide you with plenty of interactive content to keep you entertained along the way as well. So on Twitter, give us a follow at SpeedwayGB. Search SpeedwayGB on Facebook. On Instagram, we are at Official British Speedway. And our YouTube channel is Speedway Great Britain. Plenty of old race clips on there for you to view in your spare time. And on our other social media channels that I mentioned, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, plenty of giveaways coming up as well. So if you don't already follow us and interact, then maybe now is the time to start doing just that. This coming Monday on our Facebook and YouTube channels, June the 1st from 7:30, you can join me for the 2017 Championship Riders Individual from Glasgow's Ashfield Stadium. And we will see who was able to claim the final major individual honour of the 2017 British Speedway season. And as you would expect with an individual event of that quality and calibre, plenty of great racing and also drama and controversy thrown into the mix as well. We will have an announcement regarding British Speedway Quiz Night number 8, which is next Friday later on in the show. So do stick with us right at the end of tonight's broadcast, where we will bring you more information on that. Back to tonight though, British Speedway Quiz Night number 7, and we have got 40 questions coming your way, split into 3 different rounds. Shortly be getting things underway with round number 1, our bumper opening round, pick and mix, a bit of anything and everything, 20 questions in that. We'll then take a short break before returning with our themed rounds, 2 of those with 10 questions in each back to back. Our first theme round this week is called Who Am I? And our final round this week is called Playoff Drama. So we may be bringing back some happy or maybe some not so happy memories for some of you out there as well. You can play along by typing your comments into our Facebook or YouTube comments section. That is absolutely fine if you want to interact with other supporters up and across the UK. Or the majority of you have been playing along with pen and paper, which is absolutely fine, not a problem at all. All we do, if you are watching on Facebook, is suggest that you disable the comments, or on YouTube, enter full screen mode, and they should automatically disappear. After our third round, we will take a slightly extended break of around about 5 minutes or so, where we'll dip into the British Speedway video archive. But if you don't know the answer to a question along the way, just make a note of what the question involved or entailed, and that will be your chance to fill in any gaps that you may have. Just a reminder, no prizes for now. It's all a bit of fun just to get people talking. It's been great to receive so many messages saying so many of you are enjoying the hour or so that it takes for these British Speedway Quiz Nights to get through. And like I say, if you achieve your personal best, then fair play, well done and congratulations. If not, we've kept you thinking about Speedway for an hour or so, and like I say, as long as you enjoy it, then that's what matters most. So I think that is everything run through once again in terms of the rules and what's going to happen. So I believe it's time to get British Speedway Quiz Night number 7 underway. Round 1, as ever, is our bumper opening round. 20 questions coming up in this one, and hopefully a nice easy start for you as well. So question number 1, what is the nickname of Bellevue's National League side? What is the nickname of Bellevue's National League side? Question 2, which club's crest have we zoomed in on here? So which club's crest have we zoomed in on here? Question 3, what is the name of the venue where Somerset race their home fixtures? So what is the name of the venue where Somerset race their home fixtures? Question number 4, which former British champion is a co-promoter at Ipswich? So which former British champion is a co-promoter at Ipswich? Question 5, which 2 British clubs was Craig Cook racing for at the time he won his first British national title in 2017? So which 2 British clubs was Craig Cook racing for at the time he won his first British national title in 2017? Question number 6, and it's time to put some riders in a certain order. So from oldest to youngest, can you put these 4 riders in order of their age? So from oldest to youngest, can you put these 4 riders in order of their age? And the riders to sort out: A, Nico Cavati, B, Brock Nicol, C, James Sargent, and D, Matthew Weathers. Question number 7. Which club reopened in 2007 with the staging of the Alan Hunt Memorial Trophy? So which club reopened in 2007 with the staging of the Alan Hunt Memorial Trophy? Multiple choice for question number 8. Which Glasgow racer has the nickname the Tornado? So which Glasgow racer has the nickname the Tornado? Is it A, Conor Bailey, B, Sam Jensen, or C, Justin Sedgman? Fifty-fifty chance of you getting question number 9 correct. From the following 2 options, whose track is bigger in length? So from the following 2 options, whose track is bigger in length? Is it A, Mildenhall, or B, Redcar? Question number 10. With which top flight club did Berwick's Danny Gatmire have a brief spell with in 2017? So with which top flight club did Berwick's Danny Gatmire have a brief spell with in 2017? On to question number 11, and Eastbourne knocked Leicester out of the 2019 Championship Knockout Cup in the quarter-final stages. The Eagles won their home leg by 24 points, but how many points did they beat the Lions by on aggregate? So essentially, how many points did Eastbourne beat Leicester by on aggregate in the 2019 Championship Knockout Cup quarter-finals? Following on nicely from that and sticking with the same meeting, question 12, which Leicester rider is leading in this picture? So which Leicester rider is leading in this picture? And our thanks to Steve Dixon for the image. Multiple choice for question number 13. Who is the Isle of Wight track record holder? So who is the Isle of Wight track record holder? Is it A, James Cockle, B, Stefan Nielsen, C, Nathan Stoneman, or D, Ben Wilson? Question number 14. Who was crowned British Under-19 champion in 2017? So who was crowned British Under-19 champion in 2017? Question number 15. Who have Kent named as their captain for 2020? So who have Kent named as their captain for 2020? And that is the King's Championship side we are on about for this one. More multiple choice for question number 16, and Newcastle announced the shock return to the sport of James Wright over the winter, but in which year did he last compete in British Speedway? So Newcastle announced the shock return to the sport of James Wright over the winter, but in which year did he last compete in British Speedway? Was it A, 2013, B, 2014, C, 2015, or D, 2016? Question number 17. Who is the rider pictured here? So who is the rider pictured here? Question 18. How many times has Ben Morley won the National League Riders' Championship? How many times has Ben Morley won the National League Riders' Championship? Multiple choice for question number 19. Tony Atkin last appeared in British Speedway towards the back end of 2018. But how old was he at the time? So Tony Atkin last appeared in British Speedway towards the back end of 2018. But how old was he at the time? Was he A, 46, B, 48, C, 50, or D, 52? And to round off our bumper opening round, time to put riders in a specific order for question 20. And this time, from highest to lowest, can you put the following 4 riders in order based on their final green sheet averages at the end of the 2019 Premiership season? So from highest to lowest, can you put the following 4 riders in order based on their final green sheet averages at the end of the 2019 Premiership season? And your 4 riders are A, Cameron Heaps, B, Thomas Jorgensen, C, Nick Morris, and D, Tobias Muchalak. So that's tonight's first 20 questions complete. We'll be cracking on with the second part of tonight's quiz very shortly with our 2 themed rounds. But first, let's get our Friday fix of racing as we view a couple of races from years gone by.
Let's head on down then for Heat 2. Takes slow where they go. Good start off the inside for Conor Lock, but Andy Mellish blasts his way around the outside of him. And it's Mellish for the Colts that shows. Conor Lock in second, it's Macaulay Leak in third, with Joe Lawler out the back. Fast start from the outside once again, this time Andy Mellish it is that shows. Conor Lock trying to hunt him down. As they head down the back straight for the second time. Meantime at the back, a battle between Lawler and Leak. And Joe Lawler takes it up into third spot. Battle still raging out front. Small mistake for Conor Lock as he's trying to establish the best racing line here at the National Speedway Stadium. Joe Lawler perhaps sensing his opportunity to hunt him down. So they come through with a lap remaining then. Andy Mellish looking good out front. Conor Lock still in second, just about, although he does make a mistake there. Lawler's almost with him. They head down the back straight for the final time. What can Joe Lawler do on this final bend? Oh, and he's under pressure from Macaulay Leak off the final bend. Leak almost got through for third. Good action there, and now Lawler's just about avoiding Conor Lock after the race. Dramatic ending to heat number 2. Andy Mellish missed all of it.
Here we go then with Heat 7. It's Thorsell, the rider replacement in white off the inside. Andersen in red off gate 2. Carlson yellow off 3. Harris in blue off the outside. B 10 points up and away they go with Heat 7. And Andersen makes a start, but Carlson takes Harris wide. Harris will try and go for the run around the outside, and Carlson superbly stops inside Andersen and gets himself to the front. Harris is going wide around turns 3 and 4, really taking the drive. Andersen's going to let him go, I think, and it's Carlson from Harris with Andersen third, and Harris will chase after Peter Carlson here, and Harris has got so much speed in that bike, knocked out by Carlson, falls out of the back, but Harris is going to begin the big chase on Peter Carlson right round the boards. Chris Harris, Carlson again rides in wide. Great stuff so far from Peter Carlson, but Harris again going wider and wider. The bomber blast around the outside, he gets in quite enough there. Carlson again picks up the line. Andersen third with Thorsell at the back, and Harris still trying that outside line, and Peter Carlson defending, but look at this, they start the last lap. Good outcome here for Carlson, and hang on for Wolverhampton, but Harris will chase and chase and chase. It's Andersen the third with Thorsell at the back. Fabulous ride by Peter Carlson, has held back everything Chris Harris can throw at him, and Carlson wins Heat 7 for Wolverhampton over Andersen and Harris with Thorsell out the back. Well, what a superb ride by Peter Carlson there. The Bees, it looked quite promising for them. That was the kind of first bend where they quite often work their way through and get to the front. But that time, Peter Carlson held back everything that Chris Harris could throw at him, and it was a real chase from the Bees captain as well.
Time to crack on with British Speedway Quiz Night number 7 then. Our first theme round coming up for you now, and this week it's called Who Am I? Well, you may have seen on our British Speedway social media channels this week that we launched our Who Am I feature, which is very similar to the career path theme round we had in one of our quiz nights not so long back. But for tonight's first theme round, I'm going to need you to answer the Who Am I question after giving you 3 facts about a specific rider. Now, we're going to keep it simple and just award 1 point per rider you guess correctly. The more competitive among you out there might want to dish out 3 points if you get it after fact 1. 2 after fact 2, and 1 if you only get it after the final fact. So do make a note also of at which point you think you know who it is. But we'll leave the marking structure entirely up to yourselves. In the meantime, without further ado, let's get cracking with round 2 and rider number 1. I was born on April the 5th, 1998 in Norfolk, England. I began my career with the Kings Lynn Young Stars in 2013. And I am a triple British under-21 champion. Who am I? So I was born on April the 5th, 1998 in Norfolk, England. I began my career with the Kings Lynn Young Stars in 2013, and I'm a triple British under-21 champion. Who am I? Question number 2. I have 11 Speedway World Cup medals to my name. I am a former European champion. I am preparing for my return to British Speedway, having not raced in the UK fully since 2011. Who am I? So I have 11 Speedway World Cup medals to my name. I am a former European champion. I am preparing for my return to British Speedway, having not raced in the UK fully since 2011. But who am I? Question number 3. I was the 2004 and 2005 British Under-15 champion. I have spent the majority of my career with Scunthorpe, and my testimonial should have taken place in March. Who am I? I was the 2004 and 2005 British Under-15 champion. I've spent the majority of my career with Scunthorpe. My testimonial should have taken place in March, but who am I? Question number 4. I was born on September the 1st, 1989 in Odense, Denmark. I was a Speedway World Cup winner with Denmark in 2014, and I was an Elite League champion with Swindon in 2012. Who am I? So I was born on September the 1st, 1989 in Odense, Denmark. I was a Speedway World Cup winner with Denmark in 2014, and I was an Elite League champion with Swindon in 2012. But who am I? Question number 5. I had spells with Edinburgh in my first 3 years in British Speedway. I later spent 3 straight seasons with Glasgow. I've since crossed the border and am now preparing for my 3rd straight season with Berwick. Who am I? So I had spells with Edinburgh in my first 3 years in British Speedway. I later spent 3 straight seasons with Glasgow. I've since crossed the border and am now preparing for my 3rd straight season with Berwick. Who am I? Question 6. I made my debut in British Speedway with Coventry Storm in 2013. I have had spells with both Poole and Swindon in the top flight. I was made captain of my current club last season. Who am I? So I made my debut in British Speedway with Coventry Storm in 2013. I have had spells with both Poole and Swindon in the top flight, and I was made captain of my current club last season. Who am I? Question number 7. I was born on August the 11th, 2002 in Osnabrück, Germany. I was the 2017 British 500cc champion, and I will make my full top flight debut with Ipswich in 2020. Who am I? So I was born on August the 11th, 2002 in Osnabrück, Germany. I was the 2017 British 500cc champion, and I will make my top flight debut with Ipswich in 2020. But who am I? Question 8. I am a 22-year-old racer from Denmark. I have only ridden for 3 clubs in my British Speedway career and represented all of them at some stage last season. I won the Knockout Cup with my current club last year. Who am I? I am a 22-year-old racer from Denmark. I've only ridden for 3 clubs in my British Speedway career and represented all of them at some stage last season. I won the Knockout Cup with my current club last year. But who am I? Question 9. I started my British Speedway career in 2007. I have 4 British League titles on my CV. I have never ridden for the club I have signed for in 2020 previously. Who am I? So I started my British Speedway career in 2007. I have 4 British League titles on my CV, and I have never ridden for the club I have signed for in 2020 previously. But who am I this time? And our final rider for round number 2. Question number 10. I made my British Speedway debut in 2009. I have raced for Poole, Swindon and Sheffield, among others in the UK. I am a 2-time winner of the Queensland Under-21 State Championship in both 2011 and 2012. Who am I? So I made my British Speedway debut in 2009. I've raced for Poole, Swindon and Sheffield among others in the UK, and I'm a 2-time winner of the Queensland Under-21 State Championship in both 2011 and 2012. But who am I? Moving straight on to our second theme round, round number 3, and our final round of British Speedway Quiz Night number 7. And this week, as we told you earlier, it's called Playoff Drama. Well, the end of season playoffs have thrown up plenty of controversy and plenty of memorable, dramatic moments over the past 18 years or so. So tonight, we thought we'd test your memory and knowledge of just some of those moments. Now, I apologise to some of you in advance for reminding you of those heartbreaking nights. On the other hand, there'll be some of you out there who will be smiling as you relive the occasion in your head. Right, let's do this then and get tonight's final round underway with question number 1. The 2018 Premiership semi-final between Poole and Somerset seemed destined to be heading for Golden Heats until which rider produced a breathtaking last gasp manoeuvre? So the 2018 Premiership semi-final between Poole and Somerset seemed destined to be heading for Golden Heats until which rider produced a breathtaking last gasp manoeuvre? Question 2. Which 2 riders secured the Premiership title for Swindon in 2017, earning the 3-3 they needed in a last heat decider? So which 2 riders secured the Premiership title for Swindon in 2017, earning the 3-3 they needed in a last heat decider? Multiple choice for question number 3. In the 2014 Premier League Grand Final, Edinburgh needed a 5-1 in a last heat decider to pip Somerset to the title. But which 2 riders got the maximum required for the Monarchs? So in the 2014 Premier League Grand Final, Edinburgh needed a 5-1 in a last heat decider to pip Somerset to the title. But which 2 riders got the maximum required for the Monarchs? Was it A, Craig Cook and Max Frick, B, Craig Cook and Sam Masters, or C, Sam Masters and Justin Sedgman? Question number 4. Scunthorpe edged Somerset out by a single point in the 2012 Premier League playoffs, but which Danish rider played a big role for the Scorpions, scoring 21 points from the reserve berths over the 2 legs? So Scunthorpe edged Somerset out by a single point in the 2012 Premier League playoffs, but which Danish rider played a big role for the Scorpions, scoring 21 points from the reserve berths over the 2 legs? Back to multiple choice for question number 5, and Mildenhall pipped Dudley to the 2012 National League crown in more last heat drama, but at which club's track was the deciding leg held? So Mildenhall pipped Dudley to the 2012 National League crown in more last heat drama, but at which club's track was the deciding leg held? Was it A, Birmingham, B, Kings Lynn, C, Mildenhall, or D, Wolverhampton? Sticking with the third tier playoffs and also Mildenhall for question 6, which two clubs entered a joint side in the 2011 National League and went on to beat Mildenhall by a single point in the playoff final? So which two clubs entered a joint side in the 2011 National League and went on to beat Mildenhall by a single point in the playoff final? Multiple choice for question number 7. In the 2010 Elite League Grand Final, Chris Harris was dubbed the Man of Steel after being ridden over in Heat 6 by which of his teammates? So in the 2010 Elite League Grand Final, Chris Harris was dubbed the Man of Steel after being ridden over in Heat 6 by which of his teammates? Was it A, Ben Barker, B, Lewis Bridger, C, Krzysztof Kasper, or D, Przemysław Pawlicki? Back-to-back multiple choice for you for question number 8. How many points were Peterborough trailing Reading by on aggregate with just 3 races to go in the 2006 Elite League Grand Final? So how many points were Peterborough trailing Reading by on aggregate with just 3 races to go in the 2006 Elite League Grand Final? Was it A6, B8, C10 or D12? Question number 9. In the 2004 Elite League playoff semi-finals, which Ipswich rider left the track after sliding off in Heat 13 when he could have remounted and passed an opposition rider whose bike had broken down? So in the 2004 Elite League playoff semi-finals, which Ipswich rider left the track after sliding off in Heat 13 when he could have remounted and passed an opposition rider whose bike had broken down? Well, we told you that meeting had plenty of drama throughout. So for question 10, sticking with that same 2004 semi-final, can you name both the Wolverhampton and the Ipswich rider who contested a runoff for a place in the grand final? So sticking with that same 2004 semi-final, can you name both the Wolverhampton and the Ipswich rider who contested a runoff for a place in the grand final? So another 40 questions have been fired your way, and yet another British Speedway quiz night is complete. Hopefully you've got 40 answers written down. If not, then hopefully you followed my suggestion at the start to make a few notes alongside the questions that you weren't quite sure of. This is your opportunity now to fill in those gaps. We'll be returning with the answers in around about 5 minutes time or so. In the meantime, here are some more brilliant Speedway races for you to enjoy.
Keith Kershaw walks away. Takes fly, where they go, and it's a good start from Adam Roynan. Roynan hits the first corner, Second spot is Carl Howarth. Here comes Howarth through on the inside, very determined, and Royden and Howarth locked together into the top corner. Howarth trying to force the issue here. Royden on the outside, Howarth on the inside, and it's still Royden that shows. Adam Royden could be upsetting things. Here comes Max Clegg back into play. Here comes Carl Howarth though, taking up the lead down low, and Carl Howarth takes that lead here. Adam Royden in second under severe pressure from Max Clegg. Some of the best action of the night here in heat number 20. Clegg into second, Adam Royden really busting the gut here, out of shape, and in fact falls to the back. Carl Howarth meantime clear out front, and if he does stay this way, he will force a run-off for the 2016 gold number. A lap remaining, Max Clegg in second. Third spot now is Adam Ellis, having got past Adam Royden, but Carl Howarth has managed to get himself to the front, and we will have an extra race to decide the championship here tonight. Howarth wins it, second man home Max Clegg, third spot Adam Ellis, Adam Royden at the back. Ellis has gone down after the race. And well, what fine action there in heat number 20. Four riders come to order then for this fifth race. Starting Marshall walks away, on come the green lights, takes fire, away they go, and that's a super start from gate number 2. In fact, it's Alex Davies in the yellow helmet colour, and it's Alex Davies that leads. It's Carl Howarth in second, Josh Orty in third, and Josh Bates has missed out this time. Now Carl Howarth looks to have the pace this time, but he's going to have to chase down Alex Davies. Davies down the back straight, and now Howarth under severe pressure from Josh Orty. Bates has missed out, big star this time. And what can Carl Howarth do over the remaining couple of laps of this heat 5? Howarth almost tried in the fence there, one mistake like that, and Josh Orty will be through. Orty is very, very close indeed now, right on the tail of Carl Howarth. And here comes Josh Orty to take it up into second spot. Mistake from Carl Howarth, riding the wide outside, a bit too much there, and the Scorpions are 1 and 2 once again. It's Davies from Josh Orty. Howarth the final challenge off the pits corner, but Orty's going to hang on for the second time tonight. 3-4 pairing and the Tigers get 5-1, and the Scorpions take a shock lead here at Owlerton tonight. Starting Marshall walks away then on heat 12. Takes fire, away they go. Good start from gate number 1 from Ryan Fisher, and Sam Masters trying to take care of Cavati on the first bend. And it's Eddie Ramonic's 1 or 2 though. Here comes Cavati charging his way down the inside of Sam Masters. And Cavati in fact is going after Ryan Fisher. Fisher's made a mistake and gone wide. And Cavati, that's a really hard first lap from him as he tries to take up the lead. It's Fisher under pressure from Nico Cavati. Here comes Sam Masters back around him. Good action in heat 12. Sam Masters perhaps riding a little too wide, leaving it clear once again for Cavati to come through. So Fisher being attacked by Nico Cavati here. Cavati meantime hasn't shaken off the attentions of Sam Masters. Good action in this heat number 12. Cavati all the time riding down low. Fisher in mid-track line. Sam Masters isn't finished though, trying to blast his way around the outside of Cavati. Cavati takes care of him, but here comes Masters back for more. Thrilling stuff in heat number 12. One final challenge from Sam Masters as they come off the final corner. The Marksman has done it. Here comes Cavati back through. Oh, what a ride that was. Brilliant stuff in heat number 12.
So hopefully you have now got 40 answers written down. Hopefully you've topped those drinks up as well. And hopefully you're about to achieve a personal best. Let's run you through the questions and more importantly the answers for British Speedway Quiz Night number 7. Round number 1 then, and of course this was our bumper opening round, and regular players of these British Speedway Quiz Nights will know we like to try and ease you in gently. So question number 1, what is the nickname of Bellevue's National League side? Of course the answer is Colts. So as ever, a nice easy question. We hope to get you up and running with Colts the answer for question number 1. Straight on to question number 2, and which club's crest had we zoomed in on here? Peterborough was the answer we were looking for. Hopefully that was a relatively easy one for you as well, and hopefully you can add another early point to your tally. Question 3, what is the name of the venue where Somerset race their home fixtures? The answer, the Oak Tree Arena. Well, yes, the Highbridge venue, not a million miles away from Burnham-on-Sea, is the home of the Rebels, and hopefully we have a good percentage of you on 3 out of 3. Question 4, which former British champion is a co-promoter at Ipswich? The correct answer is Chris Louis. Well, I think we've certainly been kind to you once again in the early stages of British Speedway Quiz Night number 7. So let's see how you got on as we started ramping things up from question number 5. Which two British clubs was Craig Cook racing for at the same time he won his first British national title in 2017? The answers Bellevue and Workington. Well, Cook won the championship on his then Premiership home in Manchester and was also riding for his local side in the second tier. If you're following our marking scheme tonight, then it's 1 point if you got both of those clubs correct. Question number 6, and we wanted you from oldest to youngest to put the 4 riders in order of their age. And the riders we gave you were A. Nico Cavati, B. Brock Nicol, C. James Sargent and D. Matthew Weathers. And the correct order from oldest to youngest was D, A, C, B. So D, A, C, B, Matthew Weathers, Nico Cavati, James Sargent and Brock Nicol. Well, Matthew Weathers was born on May the 30th, 1985, which means he'll turn 35 tomorrow. Nico Cavati was born on June the 19th, 1988, making him 31. James Sargent was born on November the 16th, 1993, which means he's 26, while Brock Nicol is 22 after being born on April the 22nd, 1998. Question 7. Which club reopened in 2007 with the staging of the Alan Hunt Memorial Trophy? Correct answer, Birmingham. Well, some of you may have known that one anyway, or some of you may have caught the fixture rewind on the club's website earlier this week. A bumper crowd packed into Perry Bar as you would expect, with Sheffield's Andre Compton the winner of the event. Multiple choice for question 8. Which Glasgow racer has the nickname The Tornado? Was it A. Conor Bailey, B. Sam Jensen or C. Justin Sedgman? The correct answer, option A, Conor Bailey. Well, the young Australian came up with the nickname himself a few years ago, and in his own words, it sounded cool and reminded him of someone going round and round really fast. 50-50 chance of you getting question number 9 correct from the following 2 options. Whose track is bigger in length? A. Mildenhall or B. Redcar? The option we were looking for was option B, Redcar. Well, according to the club's 2 websites, Redcar's Media Prima Arena is 271 metres in length, while Mildenhall's West Row Circuit is 260 metres in length. So Redcar, option B, the answer for question 9. Question 10. With which top flight club did Berwick's Danny Gatmire have a brief spell with in 2017? Correct answer was Swindon. Well, Gatmire lasted just 2 meetings with the Robins after signing as a temporary replacement for Emil Grandal. On to question number 11 then, and Eastbourne knocked Leicester out of the 2019 Championship Knockout Cup in the quarter-final stages. The Eagles won their home leg by 24 points, but how many points did they beat the Lions by on aggregate? The answer we were looking for, 4. Well, again, if you tuned into our Monday night Speedway broadcast, you would have picked this up, so hopefully you remembered the final outcome. The Eagles were given a major scare by the Lions and scraped through by the skin of their teeth after a classic 2-legged contest. Following on nicely from that one and sticking with the same meeting as well for question 12, which Leicester rider was pictured leading in this picture? Correct answer, Ryan Douglas. Well, for those of you who have a good memory with bike and fork covers, or maybe even rider styles, maybe you confidently put Ryan Douglas as your answer, or maybe you just had a complete lucky guess. Multiple choice for question number 13. Who is the Isle of Wight track record holder? A. James Cockle, B. Stefan Nielsen, C. Nathan Stoneman or D. Ben Wilson? The correct answer, option B, Stefan Nielsen. Well, according to the Warriors website, it was the Danish-born Brit who set a time of 66.1 during an individual meeting in April 2017. Question 14. Who was crowned British Under-19 champion in 2017? Correct answer, Zach Weitnecht. Well, the Swindon and Lakeside rider wrapped up the major individual honour in style with a 15-point maximum at Plymouth. Question 15. Who have Kent named as their captain for 2020? And we told you this was the King's Championship side we were on about. And the answer we were looking for was Scott Nicholls. Well, hopefully a good number of you were able to recall the fact that Nicholls had signed for the second-tier newcomers, and his CV made him a standout candidate for the role at Central Park. Question 16. Newcastle announced the shock return to the sport of James Wright over the winter, but in which year did he last compete in British Speedway? Was it A, 2013, B, 2014, C, 2015, or D, 2016? I can tell you it was C, 2015. Well, yes, it's 5 years since Wright was last lining up at the tapes competitively when he raced for Plymouth in 2015. Question 17. Who is the rider pictured here? Correct answer, Richard Sweetman. Well, the image was of the Australian during his first season in the Isle of Wight colours, but he's more well known for his time with Birmingham, Glasgow and Coventry. Question 18. How many times has Ben Morley won the National League Riders' Championship? Correct answer, twice. Well, the current Isle of Wight man won the title in 2015 and most recently in 2018 when he defeated Warriors teammate Alfie Botel in a runoff at Leicester. Multiple choice for question 19. Tony Atkin last appeared in British Speedway towards the back end of 2018, but how old was he at the time? Was he A, 46, B, 48, C, 50 or D, 52? He was actually 52, so option D for question 19. Well, Atkin was another terrific servant to British Speedway, and his knowledge and experience was of benefit to plenty of younger riders in the National League as well. Final one for round number 1, and we wanted you to put the riders in a specific order, this time from highest to lowest. Could you put the following 4 riders in order based on their final green sheet averages at the end of the 2019 Premiership season? The riders we gave you were A, Cameron Heaps, B, Thomas Jorgensen, C, Nick Morris and D, Tobias Muszalek. And the correct order we were looking for was A, D, B, C. So A, D, B, C, Cameron Heaps, Tobias Muszalek, Thomas Jorgensen and Nick Morris. Well, Ipswich's Cameron Heaps finished on a figure of 6.30 with Swindon's title-winning Tobias Muszalek earning a figure of 6.21. Kings Lynn's Thomas Jorgensen ended the campaign on 5.90 with Nick Morris on 5.38 after missing the first few months of the season through injury. On to round number 2 then, and our first themed round. And this was called Who Am I this week? So essentially, we wanted you to answer the Who Am I question after giving you 3 facts about a specific rider. Now, don't forget, we were keeping it nice and simple and just awarding 1 point if you could guess the rider correctly at any point. But the more competitive among you out there might wanted to dish out 3 points if you got it after fact 1, 2 points after fact 2 and 1 point if you got it after the third one. But again, that is entirely up to you back in your individual households. So let's work out who I was in the relevant questions then. Question 1. I was born on April the 5th, 1998 in Norfolk, England. I began my career with the Kings Lynn Young Stars in 2013 and I am a triple British under-21 champion. Who am I? Well, hopefully a nice easy one to get you in the swing of things. It was British ace and Kings Lynn star Robert Lambert. On to rider number 2. I have 11 Speedway World Cup medals to my name. I am a former European champion and I am preparing for my return to British Speedway, having not raced in the UK fully since 2011. But who am I? It was Sheffield Marquee signing Nicky Pedersen. So Nicky Pedersen, rider number 2. Question 3. I was the 2004 and 2005 British under-15 champion. I've spent the majority of my career with Scunthorpe and my testimonial should have taken place in March. Who am I? Correct answer. It was Josh Orty. So Josh Orty, the 2004 and 2005 British under-15 champion who has spent the majority of his career with Scunthorpe. Rider number 4. I was born on September the 1st, 1989 in Odense, Denmark. I was a Speedway World Cup winner with Denmark in 2014 and I was an Elite League champion with Swindon in 2012. But who am I? Correct answer was Peter Kilderman. Well, some of you may have put Hans Andersen for that one, but 1, he wasn't in the Danes World Cup winning team in 2014 and also he was born a few years before 1989. Rider number 5, I had spells with Edinburgh in my first 3 years in British Speedway. I later spent 3 straight seasons with Glasgow. I've since crossed the border and am now preparing for my 3rd straight season with Berwick. Who am I? It was Australian racer Aaron Summers. So Aaron Summers was rider number 5. On to question number 6. I made my debut in British Speedway with Coventry Storm in 2013. I have had spells with both Poole and Swindon in the top flight. I was made captain of my current club last season. Who am I? It was Birmingham favourite James Shanes. Rider number 7, I was born on August the 11th, 2002 in Osnabrück, Germany. I was the 2017 British 500cc champion, and I will make my full top flight debut with Ipswich in 2020. But who am I? It was Eastbourne winter signing and reigning British under-19 champion Drew Kemp. So Drew Kemp, the rider in question 7. On to question number 8. I am a 22-year-old racer from Denmark. I have only ridden for 3 clubs in my British Speedway career and represented all of them at some stage last season. I won the Knockout Cup with my current club last year, but who am I? It was Redcar's Kasper Andersen. Question 9. I started my British Speedway career in 2007. I have 4 British League titles on my CV. I have never ridden for the club I have signed for in 2020 previously. But who am I? It was Kent newcomer Paul Stark. And last but not least, for our first theme round and round number 2, rider number 10, I made my British Speedway debut in 2009. I have raced for Poole, Swindon and Sheffield among others in the UK. And I am a 2-time winner of the Queensland Under-21 State Championship in both 2011 and 2012. But who am I? The answer we were looking for was Kyle Howarth. Well, I wouldn't blame any of you for thinking this could have been Josh Grushonik, but he made his British Speedway debut in 2008, a year before teammate Howarth, and also won the Queensland Under-21 State Championship a few seasons before as well. But Kyle Howarth was the answer we were looking for question number 10. On to our final round of British Speedway quiz night number 7 then, and this week it was called Playoff Drama. So let's see how much you remember about those most dramatic moments that have been served up over the past 18 years or so. Question 1, the 2018 Premiership semi-final between Poole and Somerset seemed destined to be heading for golden heats until which rider produced a breathtaking last gasp manoeuvre? It was Chris Harris. Well, it really was one of the all-time classic playoff individual rides as Harris eventually worked his way from the back to scrape the boards and pip then world champion Jason Doyle on the run to the line. Question 2, which 2 riders secured the Premiership title for Swindon in 2017, earning the 3-3 they needed in a last heat decider? The answer, Nick Morris and Jason Doyle. Well, the Aussie duo tucked in for 2nd and 3rd behind Wolverhampton's Sam Masters to get the 3 points they needed to add another league title to their tally, despite losing their home leg at the Abbey Stadium. So we're suggesting 1 point if you got both riders correct for that one. Multiple choice for question 3. In the 2014 Premier League Grand Final, Edinburgh needed a 5-1 in a last heat decider to pip Somerset to the title. But which 2 riders got the maximum required for the Monarchs? Was it A, Craig Cook and Max Frick, B, Craig Cook and Sam Masters, or C, Sam Masters and Justin Sedgman? I can tell you it was option B, Craig Cook and Sam Masters. Well, after losing out to the Rebels the previous year, the Monarchs gained sweet revenge when Cook and Masters delivered the maximum they needed over Nick Morris and Pontus Aspgren to seal a 1-point aggregate triumph. Question 4, Scunthorpe edged Somerset out by a single point in the 2012 Premier League playoffs, but which Danish rider played a big role for the Scorpions, scoring 21 points from the reserve berths over the 2 legs? Correct answer, Michael Palm Toft. Well, some of you may have already known that one, or some of you may have been prompted by one of our first Monday Night Speedway broadcasts during the lockdown period. Either way, it was current Peterborough and Redcar man Michael Palm Toft who was the answer to question number 4. Question 5. Mildenhall picked Dudley to the 2012 National League crown in more last heat drama, but at which club's track was the deciding leg held? Was it A. Birmingham, B. Kings Lynn, C. Mildenhall or D. Wolverhampton? It was option B, Kings Lynn. Well, bad weather had left Mildenhall's West Row circuit unfit for racing, and Kings Lynn stepped in to save the day with the cut-off date looming. The Fen Tigers snatched victory in the final race when Adam Roynan was excluded, and to say plenty of controversy followed would be an understatement. Sticking with the third tier playoffs and also Mildenhall for question 6, which two clubs entered a joint side in the 2011 National League and went on to beat Mildenhall by a single point in the playoff final? It was Scunthorpe and Sheffield. Well, the two rivals decided to join forces, and a team including the likes of the Worrell Twins and Ashley Burks, among others, beat the Fen Tigers 93-92 on aggregate in the final after finishing second behind Stoke in the initial standings. Question 7. In the 2010 Elite League Grand Final, Chris Harris was dubbed the Man of Steel after being ridden over in Heat 6 by which of his teammates? Was it A. Ben Barker, B. Lewis Bridger, C. Krzysztof Kasper or D. Przemysław Pawlicki? It was option B, Lewis Bridger. Well, it's one of those moments that sticks in everybody's minds, but hopefully you were able to remember the man who ploughed into Harris was Lewis Bridger during their Coventry days. It really was a rub-your-eyes moment, particularly when Bomber dashed back to the pits not long after, and then he won the rerun in spectacular style as well. Question number 8. How many points were Peterborough trailing Reading by on aggregate with just 3 races to go in the 2006 Elite League Grand Final? Was it A, 6, B, 8, C, 10 or D, 12? Quite astonishingly, it was option D, 12. Well, it really was the comeback of all comebacks by the Panthers, who pulled off a 7-2 and back-to-back 5-1 maximums in the dying stages to win by a point overall. And you really did have to feel for the Bulldogs, who not only suffered last heat heartache, but had also forced their opponents into using 3 tactical rides over the 2 legs. Question 9. In the 2004 Elite League Playoff semi-finals, which Ipswich rider left the track after sliding off in Heat 13 when he could have remounted and passed an opposition rider whose bike had broken down? Correct answer, Scott Nichols. Well, it was certainly a missed opportunity by Nichols, who would have easily passed the Wolverhampton rider in question, and it proved to be a costly error too. So plenty of drama in that one, and we stuck with that fixture for question 10. With that same 2004 semi-final, could you name both the Wolverhampton and the Ipswich rider who contested a run-off for a place in the grand final? It was Michael Max and Hans Andersen. Well, the drama certainly continued and went down to the wire at Monmouth Green, but it was home favourite Michael Max who held on to create unbelievable scenes in the West Midlands. Time to tot up those totals then. Let us know how you got on in British Speedway Quiz Night number 7 by posting your score in the comments section underneath this video, or we do like to see the odd picture of the answer sheet as well. But like I say, because we're not playing for prizes, the scores are irrelevant really. As long as you enjoyed the last hour or so, then that is the most important thing. Now, I did tell you a little earlier on in the show that we would be making an announcement regarding next Friday's Quiz Night on June the 5th from 8:30 on our YouTube and Facebook channels. British Speedway Quiz Night number 8 is proud to be supporting the Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund. Now, don't panic, it's still going to remain free to play. We're just going to be promoting the Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund and the excellent work they do, and there will also be a link where you can donate if your funds do allow. So we are absolutely thrilled to be on board with the Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund for British Speedway Quiz Night number 8. Don't forget, this coming Monday, we have got your Monday Night Speedway broadcast, the Championship Riders Individual from October 2017 at Glasgow's Ashfield Stadium. So join me Monday, June the 1st, 7:30 on our YouTube and Facebook channels. Don't forget, keep up to date with all the latest news and views on our website speedwaygb.co.uk, and interact with us on our social media channels on Twitter at SpeedwayGB, on Facebook search SpeedwayGB, on Instagram at Official British Speedway, and relive some of those classic race clips on our YouTube page, search Speedway Great Britain. In the meantime, keep safe, look after yourselves, use your common sense as well please, and we'll catch you back on Monday with our latest Monday Night Speedway broadcast. Enjoy your weekend.